talk about that as he's tinkering with apparatus. These are his augments. You guys get 2.
He's not putting the defensive one on himself.
I said you guys get 2. He has 3 total.
I forgot that. Forget it goes up with proficiency. Anyways.
So, who wants what? Who wants to get some resistance? Who wants to... You know, in retrospect, the lively one might have been really handy. Maybe... One can only, like, wonder what would happen if you're brought back at 1 HP just to get crushed immediately. I guess it would save a turn, maybe. Yeah. Oh. He has to get back to his duties. C'est la vie.
I wouldn't mind some resistance. Lay it on me.
Alright, mark down. It's a land of the dead. We'll give you necrotic resistance.
Sounds applicable. It's either necrotic or force. Those are like the 2 big ones. Well, I don't know that. Anyways, I'll shut up. Rose doesn't need anything. She's fine. That was like as Garth and Rose. Like she'd just be like, no, she's good.
You sure?
If that's the case, then I'll put the other one on Fia, because I don't think Ruhan needs it either.
Yeah.
Defensive. He's even more
like, if you put
unkillable.
here's the thing. If you put defensive on Ruhan, he just becomes even more unstoppable of a tanking force. His AC would go from 21 to 23.
Yeah, I think giving her defensive. What's your AC?
Currently it's at 16.
Okay.
Yeah, having yours go up to...
Oh, did it go up?
Well, if you get the augment on you.
Oh, right, okay.
It's a matter of... I'll give you the choice. Do you want defensive, which increases your AC by 2, or do you want lively, which is a potential of, I'm down, but I'm not going to die? Do you want to bet on not getting hit, or do you want to bet that you will get hit and have insurance when you do go down? It's your choice.
I think I'll go for the AC one at the minute, the defensive one.
Very well. You have a defensive augment thing under your AC modifier thing in the middle of the sheet. Toggle it up.
Oh, yeah.
AC is now 18. Puts you at a pretty good chance, especially if we start using the Bardic Inspiration stuff to add to your AC.
Hey.
You have a solid base to build off of.
A taste 18.
Oh yeah, Crash. Don't know if we wrote it down last session, but I did cast Bestow Fortitude on Lorelei, so her max HP is increased by 10, and mine is lowered by 10.
I do have that.
Good.
Her health is now 76.
That's respectable.
Until the next long rest. And then it drops back down to 55.
And we also lose the plus 11, I think.
That's why I meant by it drops down to 55.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you had it.
The 10 from me is for an hour, I think it was.
Yeah. So she was at 55 before, plus 11 brings her to 66, plus 10 gives her up to 76.
Nice.
Math.
Could Rose spend the short rest trying to figure out, like, the base, like, what the shard is supposed to do?
If you want.
Yeah, I do, because I want to know what this thing does.
It's the same thing as it did before. You can cash in a number of hit dice to put on your next attack. Next successful hit, rather. Up to a maximum of your proficiency bonus.
Okay, so... Okay. And...
It is a cash in.
Yeah.
So those hit dice are not
gone.
available for short rests anymore until you
Okay.
take a long rest. Even then.
That's good to know.
It's a matter of how much you value long-term survival versus immediate elimination.
I think unless anybody else wants that in particular, she would hold on to it.
Up to you guys.
No, all yours.
Alright. Hang on to the shard of answer now. I'll make a card for that at a later point.
Sure.
Just trying to find any sort of pictures that could possibly fit with it. The woes of having an imagination of cosmic destruction. Say that be. People don't draw that often. The closest thing I have for it is there's actually an item, there's weapons in Guild Wars 2 that do have that sort of
Aesthetic.
Window image. I think one was called like the Twilight Dreamer or something like that. Let me see. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Sure.
Guild Wars 2 Star. I'm just gonna look up Star Weapon.
Hello, Kat.
Oh, hello.
I forgot there's like a bajillion weapons in Guild Wars. So I'm not gonna look at that now. I'll look at it later. Anyways,
gonna study.
You're going to,
But now I'm gonna bring groceries in,
All right.
so have some more time to hang out.
All right.
Wait, how does like at the grocery
I don't
store?
go to a grocery store. That's for poor people.
Oh,
Mine brought to me.
okay. I thought when you said you're gonna bring them in, I thought they were like outside in the car, and then you just have to literally bring them in.
No, they're just outside on my front porch.
Okay,
Oh, that's cute.
I see.
We have a plus 15 charisma.
Big fucking otters.
Oh.
Big otter picks. Anyways, so yeah, you guys are taking a short rest. Rose, you sort of figure out that the Shard of Ends, true to its name, is meant to bring about other people's ends, either yours or theirs, because you have to spend your hit dice to do so.
It is not picky.
It's like corn, you know, blood guide, skulls for the skull throne, stuff like that.
Oh, I thought you were talking
the
about
Purge of the
genetically
Vegetable.
modified
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
to make animals have sexual desire towards other animals, not other species.
No.
Look it up. That's real.
No, I'm not looking it up. I will look up corn flakes though.
Oh, God.
No, the best thing I got is
Is it corn spelled with a K, cornflakes, or?
KHORN.
That's different. That's slicings of people.
So, anyways, you guys are taking a short rest, and at about what I roll, we're on 8. At around the 8-minute mark, Varric is like he's sort of like tinkering with the apparatus of. Okay, he's tinkering around with the apparatus on your arm, Korik, and then he just sort of stops and like looks up, not at you, but just like looks up, like as if listening for something, and he just like chuckles, and he goes back to tinkering on your apparatus.
You're all right there, Barry?
Yeah, he's like putting away his. I say they're artificer's tools to a rough degree. It's like a mix of like lock-picking tools and soldering tools. Just puts them away. Weird as it sounds, just got a message.
Good news, I take it?
Quite. It's a shame it's one way. I'd love to send something back. Oh well. He gives like your apparatus a tap. Good to go. Let's hope the evil energies down here don't do us in a second time, huh?
Yeah. I want to drink that in a tavern over a nice cup of something hot. Can we do that?
Gladly. Let's set about getting out of here for. As he's like finishing the sentence, the grave light shards begin flickering once more. It's like a horror movie. Which, you know, if there is gonna be a horror movie, wouldn't this be the perfect place for it?
Yep.
Something's coming back.
Let's hope it's on our side then.
Dramatic music.
Thanks so much. So great.
Something wicked this way comes.
You know, in an environment with light and then suddenly plunge into an environment without light, you know, your eyes can't acclimate that quickly. I think it takes at least, 3 minutes? But when it's flickering back and forth like a strobe light, you know, your eyes definitely do not have time to acclimate. The gray light shards around you flicker. Just, well, they're all connected, right? Simultaneously. They flicker. And 1 second it's just you guys. The next second, you guys are redoubled in terms of how many people are in here. I say people. The way they look. I'm not sure if you could describe them as people anymore. One for each of you. One for each. All of them are in various states of devastation. You guys, for some of you, you didn't even know that the person was dead. For others, you never really got a good glimpse of the aftermath. It's just not in your memory. Or perhaps you just never saw it. These are your shades. In their gruesome, deathly visages. And you get to see, in horrifying detail, what they look like as they were properly ended. Oh, go down the Discord list. For you, Fia, you see the man you had called Obrent. I think the better way to describe him now is utterly destroyed. More akin to a walking coal. Still smoldering and cindering. Flesh crackled and black and scorched. Than a man now. These shades don't say anything, not yet. Maybe for some of you, hope never. Because you don't want to imagine what their voice sounds like. But in your case, Fia, he's still burning. Almost like he was struck by lightning. But unlike you, he wasn't lucky enough to get powers from it. Instead, he just got spontaneous incineration. For Korik. Again, you never saw how Fancy died. You didn't even know he was dead. Until very recently. The Fancy man, former as he was before you, is bound. Lacerated. An innumerable amount of cuts across any visible parts of flesh you can see as of current. But the one that strikes you most is the one across his throat. And the dagger embedded in his leg. His lamed leg. The one that has been giving you so much bewilderment. Fancy certainly had his fancy footwork, but never again. In life, nor in death. Looking more akin to Thanksgiving dinner now than man. Certainly not the man you knew. Fortunate that O is here to hear about Ruhan's pretty thing with long hair. Very fitting. Compared to the rest of yours, she's immaculate. Really, the most distinguishing features of her cause of death, well, there are potentially a few. Hard to determine. The bruises, the bludgeoning, limbs not quite right the way they should be, twisted in all the wrong ways. Her chest crushed in like a bellows. Or perhaps it's the multiple holes protruding, or entering into her, rather. Multiple of them. Fitting. For a horned creature. Yes? Oh well. For you, Rose, you saw the beginnings of his death. It is both a blessing and a curse how resilient the mortal body is in times of duress. How far it can go, even when it shouldn't have died. Alexander is sundered. His armor, nothing more but shreds and scraps. His upper chest, his upper torso, gaping open. Size of a melon, I would say. Not a watermelon, like an actual normal melon. But the very obvious gap in him isn't the thing that catches your eye the most. It certainly does, but not the most. No, it'd probably be a tie of the way his upper body skin is flayed and left hanging like a cloak. Or the fact that he's holding his head in his hands, separate from his neck and his body. Even in death, he still has a stern look to him. Although, he had less blood coming out of his mouth when he was alive. Worry not. Varric has one as well. I'll be quick with it. But just know that you all see these things. Not that he got left out. The man known as Bernard Mez is missing an arm. His other one dislocated. His entrails spilled out. His heart rended out. You all see the gruesome visages of each other's shades. Although I think you're probably paying attention to yours in particular. You do catch the rest of them out of the corners of your eye. Out of a survivalistic instinct and wondering of combat, if nothing else. You see these visages for a second, 2, 3 seconds too long, before the lights flicker once again, and you see them back in their quote-unquote normal appearance, that which you guys saw before when they had drank from the fountain, the quote-unquote ambrosia fountain. Although Abigail's accounts confirm that it is not ambrosia. They're back to normal. You don't fear them talking at this point. You've heard them talk at this point from these forums. You wait, wondering what sort of conversations you guys will have once again. When the lights begin flickering again. No, not flickering. Waning. Fading. The lights grow dimmer and dimmer. The forms of your shades growing more and more corporeal. More radiant, more bright. Eventually, the shards themselves have nothing left to give, both in energy and in light, and it is the forms of your guys' shades that is illuminating the room, giving off their own grave light, each of them. each of them step forward to each of you. You guys hesitantly, fearfully, curiously, whatever. It changes from each of you to the next one. Wonder what it is they'll do, what it is they'll say. It seems that your final words with them shall be one-sided, though, for they don't speak. They do, however, begin glowing even brighter to the form that they start becoming just walking bulbs. Their features indeterminate from how bright it is. In a similar manner as you all came here about 25 minutes or so ago, you guys were beamed in, they are beamed out of this land of the dead. Their time here is done. Or at least the town thinks so. But worry not. Wherever they're going, afterlife or somewhere else, they don't leave you wanting. They leave unto you their influence, their impact, their knowledge. And you guys are conferred in your minds and in your very spirits some benefits of their expertise and their hopes for you going forward. Now, let us hope you don't find it they don't find you wanting. About that interim period I was telling you all about, there's a reason for it. It's because you'll need this period to punch in some stuff. So, let's get to it then, shall we? We'll start with Thea, because hers is the longest.
Oh boy.
Longest for you, not longest for me.
Mm-hmm.
You, Thea, will gain a feature. Feel free to type it in right now. I need to look all my notes here. I have a good amount of it. I told you all I was planning for each of you custom stuff. And this is what I mean by we're turning the chapter, we're escalating things. I told you it was nothing bad, it is strictly beneficial, unless you want to take offense to it, in which case you can get the fuck out of the game.
Get the fuck out.
Each of you will get something from your shade. Each of your shades are called something different. For you, Thea, you get a feature. I will type it in the Wayfarer's Fork channel.
Mm-hmm.
Called the Astral Shades' Secrets. What secrets Hobart must have held if he's given you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get something we were sort of talking about before, but even more so now. You have a list of spells treated similar to a spells prepared list.
Mm-hmm.
This list, the amount of spells on this list is equal to your proficiency bonus. Haha, very funny that you got the badge. As was your charisma. So for you, that should be what, plus 8, 9, something like that?
Let's see, charisma is 4, 8.
So 8 spells. Treat this feature now as if it was a magical secrets ability feature of the Bard class. Pick 8 spells of which you can cast the levels of from any spell list. Any spell list.
Oh, okay.
You can have
Oh goddamn.
2 of them prepared per long rest. So every long rest you can change out which 2 you know. Consider it as a personal wizard spellbook.
Okay.
8 spells from anywhere that you can cast. So anywhere from 1st to 3rd.
Hmm.
But wait, Billy Mays, there's more. There's more.
Mm-hmm.
Before you get onto that endeavor, So that is what it will be. Looking at every spell from first to third might be a bit of a daunting
Yeah.
task. I'm thinking about telling you ahead of time, but that would just spoil the secret. You additionally get a number... It's very fitting that you got the badge, in retrospect. You get a number of additional spell slots equal to your proficiency bonus. What do I mean by this? I mean it in a manner similar to the Arcane Recovery feature. So, your proficiency bonus is now 4.
Mhm.
If you want to have 4 additional first level spell slots, maximum, you can. Or you can have a third and a first. Or 2 seconds. It's your choice to break down this 4 into different spell slots.
Okay, yeah, so if it was a third level, it'd only be like 3 points into... Yeah, okay. I gotcha.
No, so what will happen is, if you want to have another... Let's look at your spells section here. If you want to have 4 total third level spell slots instead of 3, you can. And then have 1 spare to put in the first level. If you want to have 8 first level spell slots, you can. Be warned though, this additional spell slots thing I'm giving you lasts until you next level up. Then you can change it. But you can't change it until you level up again.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah, decide wisely. You have 4. 4. Break that down however you wish. Want 2 first and a second? Sure. A third and a first? Sure. 4 firsts? Why not? So that is what Hilbrint morally gives you as he fades to wherever he's going.
Mhm.
Magic missile Gatling gun? I was thinking Zephyr Strike spammer, but that works too.
Your idea's probably better.
Korik. Fancy gives unto you his fanciful fighting style, as well as something he wasn't supposed to know or see or hear or memorize during his captivity. Prisoner security. Such a waning talent these days. Korik, you may add into your sheet your noble shades tutelage. I think it's about tutelage.
Ooh.
You get the following fighting style. It is called Company Duelist. Similar to the dueling fighting style, you get a +2 for when you one-hand stuff. This does not count a shield as being in the offhand, by the way. Additionally, you can spend your reaction to attack enemies that come into range of you, similar to Polar Master.
Okay.
So you don't even have to wait for them to leave your range or even attack someone else or something like that. No, you can just attack them whenever they get within range, or against an ally who's within a certain amount of distance from you. What is that distance? That depends on how much movement speed you have remaining at the end of your turn.
Oh.
Ooh.
So if you didn't move at all this turn, you can rush over to an ally within 30 feet and attack someone that they are going to attack. One last thing for this fighting style is you do not provoke attacks of opportunity from the singular target you had hit on your turn. So like mobile.
That's cool.
Or like Scout's shitty stealing of mobile. You're mobile. In a more lethal sense. But wait, Billy Mays, there's more. Krax has getting a bit of a tune-up. Again, courtesy of the information that Fancy wasn't supposed to learn during his time in captivity. I don't have a name for this ability. I figure we'll just both call it murder.
Nice.
You can now use Krax in a similar manner as Yennefer of Vengelverd. You can use Krax as a living missile. Pick a target within Krax's range. So if he's next to him, it's the same thing. He will go through the target. or at least try to. This causes a dexterity saving throw on their behalf. Your spell save DC, obviously. If they fail, the target takes 3d8 piercing damage. If they succeed, then nothing. It's an all or nothing sort of spell. You could also choose to, as I think it's just the best way to put it, as blunt as is, Suicide Strike cracks into a target. No dex save, just 3d8 damage. This kills cracks, but it does proc that effect cracks has for if a target kills him.
Very nice.
Catch is, of course, you won't have cracks until your next long rest or next short rest.
Hmm.
One more thing about uptuning cracks as we talk about him. Well, as long as you have cracks, you will never be surprised. Consider that fancy telling little cracks. Keep an eye out for the lad. He needs someone looking over his shoulders. Who better than the person on his shoulder?
Very
So
nice.
You'll never be surprised as long as you're not incapacitated. You know, if I was a butthurt Chinaman, I would be like, that's racist. Because Uncle is Chinese, and I am also Chinese.
It's more a compliment because Uncle was awesome. Bit of an asshole, but awesome.
Also, if you guys ever meet a Chinese person that gets offended by Chinamen, tell them to fuck off for me. I don't get offended by Chinamen no more so than a Frenchman or Irishman or Scotsman, Englishman, German. I'm just saying, people that get offended by that are fucking stupid.
Wait, is it German because of the men of Ger or something, or did the name German come first?
Pretty sure Germany came first.
Okay, that makes more sense. Anyway,
From Germanic.
Germanic. Oh, you already know yours. He got another rune.
hey.
I gave him the choice between the life rune and the death rune.
Dick.
Oh.
He chose life.
Fitting.
He gets another use of second wind. So he has 2 per short rest now. As if he needs the health, but whatever. Additionally, he has advantage on his second wind rolls, and he gets to add his con to them. So he'll never be found wanting when it comes to healing, self-healing. And every rune of the rune fighter class, subclass, has an active ability. So the passive and active ability. His active ability heals all allies within 30 feet for an amount equal to your con plus your proficiency. So if he were in between every single one of you, this heals himself, by the way. If you were between every single one of you, if we're talking about just numerical value healing, that's a lot of healing done in a bonus action. It also can, I don't know, bring people back from being unconscious or something important like that.
Wild concept. I don't know why you would suggest that.
It is a testament to the pretty, or the woman with long hair pretty, about what sort of story this is going to end up as. But we'll get to that whenever it ends. Which apparently ends at a certain level, according to Korik/Fred here. Last but certainly